What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny and this is my 66 Mustang. We're gonna keep working on the car. We got almost the brake system done. We need to install the master cylinder today, and in another video we will bleed all the system. The way that I'm going to install it, it's a little different than other videos because you have to do bench bleeding for the master cylinder before putting in the car. But I'm gonna do it on the car because I don't want to do a mess with the brake fluid, and also I need to do some plumbing, so I'm gonna do that first and then install the master cylinder and do the bench bleeding on the car and then connect it to the proportioning valve, because I was reading the instructions and they said that it's not a problem if you want to do it on the car, as long as the master cylinder push rod do all the if the push rod does all the movement completely without touching the firewall with the pedal, you'll be fine. So I'm gonna try that. And we had to hear the Bronco. It's not running because we were having some issues with overheating. So I replaced the water pump, hoses, thermostat, gaskets, but we're still waiting on the radiator because apparently it's not easy to get one radiator for this exact year. So the 84 for 85, 86 is easier, but in this case it's a little different. So I want to keep it as original as I can. So we order it and they're making it, and it's taking some time. Probably it's been a month since we order it, and probably it's going to take a month more, but let's see what happens. Let me show you what we get in the bench. Okay, this is the kit that we're going to use. This is the master cylinder. It's a little shorter, but I think it's thicker than the others that I've seen installed on the Mustangs. I just contact a Wiwood to ask them which is the one that I really need for my application. This is the one that they recommend. This is the bore size. In my car is all-wheel disc brakes, so it's really cool that we have ports on both sides. That way you can use it either way depending on your application. We're going to keep in a like stock location, so we're going to use this one, and there's some plugs that we're going to use on the other side. That's a proportioning valve. With this thing you can regulate the braking power to the rear brakes, and also comes with a sensor a switch for the lights. If you don't want to use the one in the pedal, if it's a Mustang, you can use this one too. I think we're going to use this one, I don't know yet. So it comes with a pre-bent small lines to connect the valve with the master cylinder. This little guy right here is a residual, I don't know if I said that right, but it's a valve which will allow us to keep some pressure on the system without pushing the pedal. So this piece is used when you have a master cylinder installed lower than your calipers. So this will help to keep the pressure. It's just 2 psi. This is for disc brakes. If it was a drum brake, rear drum brake system, it's going to be a different. I think it's red, and it holds 10 psi because we need a little bit more power to engage the drums. In this case, I don't need it because my master cylinder is installed in the stock position, so I shouldn't use this. But I think, okay, well, this is not going to hurt anything just to keep 2 psi on the line. Maybe it will improve our braking power, or the effort that we're going to need to push the brakes. So I decided to install it to see what happens. So I don't think it's going to hurt anything if we do it. I did some research and some people said you don't need it. Some others, you can do it. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'll just give it a shot to see if it works, if it makes any difference or something. The bolts to hold the master cylinder in place. What else we got? We got some connectors to do the new plumbing in between the lines that are in the car with the ones that we're going to need to install this. So I don't want to damage or bend the lines that are already in the car, because of the position, you guys will see when we get there. I think it's not. I don't want to damage the brake lines, so I just have a little bit more of material here, so it's not a problem just to build some. So those are the spacers to install this with the master cylinder. So there's just going to be right here, and then this on top. What else we got? I think that's it. We got this bushing that goes in the pedal. It's really cool that we can get this OEM, so probably it's not changing the part in a couple of years, because cars is from the 60s and we're still having this part. And this pin right here is for the brake pedal too, just for secure the rod on the pedal. So let's get to the car. All right, this is the point of view of working in Florida. We never know when it's gonna rain, so we're gonna work like pretty fresh today. All right guys, this is how it looks on the car. Those are my brake lines. This is from rear brakes, driver side front, and passenger side front. So the proportion involved is going here. So as you can see, the brakes lines are a little off. So I think I can get away with this one. We can just connect it here. But we need to build something for the others too. That's why I want to do it on the car, because I want to finish all the plumbing, connect everything to this, and then install the master cylinder, do the bleeding just for the master cylinder on the car with the pedal, and then just connect the two lines that are going here. So that's pretty much the plan. So let's get into it. Let's go to the bench to prepare the master cylinder, and let's do it. Okay, we got the master cylinder on the vise. It's secure. I use this rack because we don't want to scratch the paint. So this is all the fittings on the kit that it comes with it. So let me open this. Okay, we got this boot. That's for the rod. It goes in the back of the master cylinder. And those are the different fittings that goes here. It comes with two sizes, the small and the big, depending on the fitting that you're using for the brake lines. In my case, we're using the small one, so those are the ones that we're going to use on this side, because we're going to keep the stock position. And we're going to add these two plugs here to cap off those ports. So we're going to need the plugs and some crush washers. The manual says that you can lubricate these threads with some grease, just a little bit, and then we will torque it down to 20 foot-pounds, 20 to 25 foot-pounds. Okay, we got all the plugs and the fittings for the other side are really grease, just a little bit on the threads. Don't go over the top, because we don't want grease inside the master cylinder, and we're going to start threading those in. And we're going to torque this down to 20 to 25 foot-pounds. I got my torque wrench set for 23, so I want to do in the middle. Just be careful, because it's all aluminum, so it's very soft. Let's see what happened. I'm not gonna keep torquing this down right here because I'm feeling like a little bit of movement, so I don't want to damage the master cylinder, so we will keep this to do it on the car when everything is attached. So sorry about that. I just moved the vise a little bit, that way you guys can see the other side too. So we got the two fittings with the cross washers. Let's thread those in. We got it in place. Now we're going to install the rod. So in my case, I don't have the old master cylinder with the rod installed to measure the distance, to make sure that we're in the same spot as the car is designed. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a measurement from another video as a reference from a guy that is working on a 66 2. I think it's a 66, but it's a fastback. So he said that his rod measures, let me see, I got it over here, around 5 3/4 from this surface right here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna install this lock nut. Okay, we're gonna put that back later and install this second piece of the rod and measure it. So 5 3/4, it's gonna be around, I will say around there. So we got it in place. Now we're gonna tighten those locks nuts to keep it in place, and we're good. So we're done with this. Then now we're gonna go into the car to do all the plumbing and finally install this. All right guys, after fighting a little bit with the lines, we came up with this. So the rear line is this one. It's gonna be connected to the one that comes from the car. And this line right here is for the front passenger wheel. The front, the driver wheel, the front one, the line is gonna go right off here. So we don't have to do anything with that. We just need to deal with those two. We install this little guy right here. So it needs to go in one direction. So you will see in one of the edges MC and the other one is out. So MC is the part that goes closest to the master cylinder, or in this case this valve. And the out, it's obviously the line that it goes all the way to the back. So this is the direction that it should be. And now we're going into the car to see how we can wiggle this thing in. Let's see. All right, here we get the lines. This one is the one that goes directly to the proportioning valve. And these two are the ones that we're gonna connect to the new ones. So as you guys can see, I attach one connector here because this is just a line. And here we don't have connector because we're gonna thread this into the residual valve, the little blue valve. All right, we got all the lines thread in, or at least started. So now we're gonna tighten everything, at least at the bottom, because it's gonna be a little difficult with the master cylinder here. Just tighten that down. right, guys, we're finally in place. It was a little hard just to put it in place with the bolts that I had. I got to run to Home Depot real quick because the ones that I had, they were 1.5 inches, and I ended up using 2 inches because it was super difficult just to put it in place. All the lines are attached to the proportion involved. The fittings, I couldn't torque it with a torque wrench because of the space, so I just did it by hand. Make sure that you don't over tight because everything is aluminum, so it's super soft. So now we're going to install on this side the bleeding kit to do the bench bleeding. So let's see what we got. What we use is this plastic bracket to hold the hoses that will go here. And we have the fittings. Come with different fittings, but this is the one that we need to use for our application. So it's like a one-time use, but need to be really tight. I mean, good tight, because we don't want air coming from those threads or brake fluid going out. So they're going to be installed on this side, the one in the front and the one in the back that you guys can't see. Finally, the hoses. Like this. All right, guys, we got everything in place. We already have the fluid into the master cylinder in both tanks. All the fittings, everything is connected. I'm gonna go into the car to push the brakes, and that way we will bleed this. The way that I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna push the brake slowly until it stops, keep it in place for a couple of seconds, and then go back slowly as well, because we don't want all the bubbles inside the hose going back into the master cylinder. So we need to remove all the air possible. So that's why I'm going to do it slowly, because if you go fast, the same bubbles they're going to go up and down and probably go back to the master cylinder. Alright, guys, yeah, it was a fucking nightmare, but we made it. Probably I just choose the hard way to do it, or I didn't have any luck today. Problems. Well, those 2 small lines, I thought that it will be easier to switch them with the plastic fittings. So removing the hose with the fitting and then slide this one in. I thought it will be easier, but the problem is I wasn't able to line up this. As you saw in the video, I wasn't talking there because I was concentrated just to fix the problem, and also my neighbors were playing basketball outside, so probably you guys will be hearing all the noise from them. But I loosened up this and the proportion involved, and even doing that, it was really hard to align those 2 small lines. So definitely up to you if you want to bleed this on the bench, and or doing in the car. Sorry. I want to try. I did want to try this way because everybody does the bench thing, and I thought that I could avoid some risks, but it wasn't the case. So I made like a mess here with a bunch of towels. I don't know if you see, but there's like water there because I rinsed everything because I was touching I mean, there was a brake fluid dripping from there, so I don't want anything to get corroded or damaged. I was really careful with the paint, but you know, I just throw some water on top of everything because we never know when a drip is gonna cause a damage. But that was it. So we completely bleed it on the car. We still have a little bubbles on the hoses, but just really, really tiny bubbles. That's okay. We will get rid of those when we do the whole bleeding system. That's going to be in another video. Another thing is that I want to point out, the new lines that I did to connect everything together. I mean, the rear brake line and the passenger to the proportioning valve. I did it too close to the valve, so it was a little difficult just to tie the 2 bolts that attach that valve to the bracket. So I don't know if you guys maybe will route it another way, probably. So just keep that in mind, because I didn't notice that until I start tightening everything down. I was able to do it, but it was really difficult. I gotta move things and try to press the lines a little bit just to make the space to work on the bolt. But other than that, it's in place. We made it. It's the first time doing this, so I am not mad or anything like that. It happens. So next time I know which process avoid, and hopefully the next one will be better with less mess. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video.